Left, what have they employed? Identity politics in order to divide America. And of course, we see this every election, manipulate the elections. The race card, gender card, rich versus poor, old versus young, men versus women. Now, these are all tactics, predictable tactics, that the left uses in order to claim the moral high ground. Now, of course, this despicable strategy is built on a foundation of lies. Now, for years, prominent elected Democrats, they have palled around with one of America's biggest, most prominent racist and anti-Semites, a guy by the name of Louis Farrakhan. Then there's Hillary Clinton. Now, she continues to play the race and gender card and is still whining and making excuses about why she lost the election. And in the process, she's insulting women and every American who voted for Donald Trump. We'll break that down in tonight's mini monologue. All right, so Louis Farrakhan, he purports to be a great leader and minister of the Nation of Islam, but in reality, he is a small-minded, bigoted racist who peddles hatred and, of course, conspiracy theories to anybody that will listen to him. And sadly, this includes 8 Democratic members of Congress. Now, even Barack Obama was pictured at an event with Farrakhan prior to becoming president in 2005. Now, during the 2008 election, the Congressional Black Caucus, they made sure that no American saw that picture. That picture never saw the light of day. And that's according to the man who actually took the picture. Now, tonight, we're asking one obvious question. If these Democrats really cared, as they say, about combating racism, pushing equality, well, why would they have ties to that vile human being? Here are just a few of his bigoted views. Take a look.
Here the Jews don't like Farrakhan, so they call me Hitler. Well, that's a good name. Hitler was a very great man. The satanic Jews, they control everything and mostly everybody. There were many Israelis and Zionist Jews in key roles in the 9/11 attacks. Because you see, white people deserve to die. That's right. And they know, so they think it's us coming to do it. Caucasian mean weak-blooded, weak-boned, stale-faced. That pale, what the Indian call a pale man. There is no human being on earth that has murdered more living things than the Caucasian. He's a murderer and a liar. But when we die and they die, then soon we're going to sit at a table and talk about we tired. We want some of this earth. Because we'll tear this goddamn country up.
Tear the country apart. Wow. Now, in light of even the more bigoted remarks made by Farrakhan in January, House Republicans introduced a resolution condemning him, and the RNC released a memo which calls out members of Congress that have ties to Farrakhan, calling them, quote, the hateful Farrakhan 8. Where's the moral outrage of the left? Where are the Democrats calling for Ellison, Waters, and others to explain their ties to this bigot, racist, and anti-Semite? By the way, spoiler alert, you're not going to hear outrage from liberals on this topic. Why? It doesn't help them politically. That's sad. And then, of course, you have Hillary Clinton during an appearance in India over the weekend. Hillary made no mention of Farrakhan, but instead she served up a big cup of Democratic identity politics, all while slamming those irredeemable deplorables, people who voted for Donald Trump, with a special slam for white women. Really? Watch this.
We do not do well with white men, and we don't do well with married white women. And part of that is an identification with the Republican Party and a sort of ongoing pressure to vote the way that your husband, your boss, your son, whoever believes you should.
How insulting are those remarks? In her mind, all white women who voted for Trump only listen to men. You don't think she should apologize for those offensive remarks? Joining us now with reaction, Fox News contributor Tomi Lahren and Catalina magazine publisher Kathy Aru. Is Farrakhan a racist and anti-Semite?
Yeah, absolutely.
What about all these Democrats that are friends with him, take pictures with him, go to events with him?
In 2005, I mean, he's a non-player. He's a non-player in politics.
So
because you take a photo with someone, he's a player in D.C.?
All right, he's been a known anti-Semite.
20
and
years. He's old news.
Can I finish?
Okay.
And a known racist.
Yeah.
And he made these remarks last weekend. And these guys won't say a negative word about him.
Sounds like President Trump, non-Latino, non-Muslim. I mean, this is a racist living in the White House, so it doesn't sound very different from Farrakhan to me.
What has he ever said that's racist?
I'm sorry?
What's racist?
Oh, Mexicans are rapists and murderers.
Okay.
That was about a year ago. That was more current than Farrakhan. Farrakhan's 2005.
He never, ever said, if you have to lie to make a point on this program.
Lie. He didn't say
because
that?
President Trump, and you know what? I went down to Texas. That's correct. He said
Latinos
he
are
said
rapists
some.
and murderers? Oh,
he said some. That's correct.
That's not racist.
And there's a big.
Yeah.
Well, some are. Some.
Okay.
Now, many come here because they want opportunity, but some come here and they commit crimes.
All right.
Kate Steinle, for example. Let's bring in Tomi Lahren. Tommy.
Well, I thought that the left stood on the moral high ground, so I think that you would be the first ones to condemn language like this. But it just goes to show that the left, the Democrats, they're not anti-bigotry, they're not anti-racism, they are just anti-Trump. And this is shown clearly once again because you can't even admit it.
I did condemn it. I didn't support him. I condemned it, but I said Trump is exactly like the person you're portraying here. Yeah, if Farrakhan is awful, so is Trump. I'm sorry?
You're comparing the two.
Yes,
this just shows how delusional you are, Kathy, because you're comparing the two.
But Tommy, the problem is Kathy made up something that Trump said. Now, many people come here from countries because they want hope and opportunity.
Right.
But when I sat through that briefing that I showed earlier, Tommy, 642,000 crimes committed against Texans in a 7-year period by illegal immigrant criminals, and some of those crimes were murder.
So
they will not admit that. They will not admit the actual quote that Donald Trump said. He said some people are coming over here and they shouldn't be here. Do you agree?
He said everyone that's coming across that border, are they all good people?
No, he never said those words.
He said some are good people.
And he was enjoying his
taco
taco salad.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
Why do you have to make up words he didn't say to make your point?
He's so pro-Hispanic.
Why can't you just say that these Democratic congressmen should condemn Farrakhan and denounce him and stay away from him?
It's like saying now that Republicans shouldn't get near David Duke. It's the same kind of politics.
I agree. David Duke, I wouldn't go near him.
Right. Well, no one's getting near Farrakhan right now.
Excuse me, there are 8 congressmen that won't say a negative word against him.
They're not getting paid by this guy. They're not hanging out with this guy.
They're not getting paid.
No.
Oh, okay. You have to be paid by the racist and anti-Semite.
They're not hanging out with this person.
But you can hang out with him as long as you're paying.
No, they have nothing to do with this person. Old photos. Give me a break.
Joe Concha, when we come back, thank you both. The most outrageous meltdowns in the media in the last 24 hours.